start, colleagues? Can I get a signal? Yes, no? No, for broadcasters, when are your pen is so...
It's not a broadcaster.
Yeah.
It's permanently ready.
We are here in time. You almost us. Now the weekend programs have been in.
The best ambush.
We have also been ambushed.
Yeah. We're all ambushed by best.
Broadcasters, are we ready? All right, thank you. Good afternoon, colleagues of the media. And we do apologize for summoning you at such short notice on a long weekend. But it's job. So we're all here and we have to provide an update on a matter of national importance. I'd like to invite the Minister, but just before I invite the Minister, let me introduce the panel. On the Minister's right, Minister of Justice, he's flanked by Area Commissioner Koza, Area Commissioner for Kosimanguru, Eugene Koza, Emmanuel Koza, sorry. And then, of course, the man with the hat, Minister Bheki Cele. Minister, may I invite you please to read the statement?
Thank you very much, Crispin. The Minister of Police, Minister Bheki Cele, members of the media who are here, the Minister of Police and the Minister of Justice and Correctional Services can confirm that escapee Mr. Thabo Bester, or well known as Thabo Bester, with his accomplice, also known as Dr. Nandipa Magudumalong, with the Mozambican national, have been arrested in Tanzania late last night. On the 26th of March 2023, the National Commissioner of South African Police Services, General Fani Masemula, ordered the prioritization of the investigations into the Mangaung prison escape case. Detectives from the Family Violence, Child Protection and Sexual Offences, and the Organized Crime Investigations units in the Free State and Gauteng provinces were appointed to work around the clock on these investigations with a track and tracing team of Correctional Services and Crime Intelligence. A case of murder is also under investigation following the outcome of the DNA analysis that confirmed that the body of the deceased, which was found in the Mangaung Correctional Facility, was not that of Thabo Bester. The autopsy report went on to further reveal that the deceased had died as a result of a blunt force trauma to the head and was already dead prior to the arson incident in the Mangaung Correctional Facility. A case of escape from lawful custody was also registered on confirmation by the Department of Correctional Services that Thabo Bester was not in their custody. We have confirmed with all relevant authorities in Tanzania, which include the National Commissioner of Police in Tanzania and Interpol, that fugitives are being processed in the Tanzanian criminal justice system. I've also had a telephone discussion and call with the Minister of Justice in Tanzania, who has confirmed to us of their cooperation and willingness to help in the process to bring them to South Africa as speedily as possible. An official delegation from the South Africa comprises of senior officials from the police, justice and correctional services will depart for Tanzania tomorrow. They will be received and assisted by the Office of the High Commissioner in Tanzania, who is representing South Africa there. We are confident that we will receive maximum cooperation from our sister nation, Tanzania, to assist us to bring these fugitives to justice and to also serve their sentence, particularly the gentleman called Mr. Bester. The level of cooperations we have received thus far from the Tanzanian authorities has been exemplary since and even before the arrest and after the arrest. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Minister Lamola. Colleagues, I'll now invite questions from colleagues who are here to ask a couple of questions. I'll take one round for now, and then we'll see if we can go on an online platform to take some questions. Please raise your hand. When you are noted, do mention the media house that you come from, and then please also make your question a pointed one so that we can answer as many questions as possible. Thank you. Okay. 1, 2. Just remember your numbers, please. 1, 2. Okay, those 2 questions can come.
Good afternoon, ministers. Thank you very much for this TV briefing, although, of course, it has disturbed our weekend programs, but we are here. First of all, Minister Lamola and Minister Cele, what is the real name of this so-called Mr. Thabo Bester, as it appears in his South African ID? 2, when they were caught, himself and Dr. Makudumana there in Tanzania, do we have details that you were given by the Tanzanians as to how it happened, whereabouts, was there an attempt to fight back, was there any shootout or anything of sort, and had they been tracing and tracking them for a couple of days, and when exactly did the Tanzanians get the intelligence that they might be in that particular country? Okay, I'll leave it there for now. Thank you very much.
Yes, please. Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. It's Patricia Fasaki from the SABC. Are there any details around how the fugitive couple made it to, of course, Tanzania? How they obviously traveled since they've been looked for, and also the details around how they actually find out whether it is them indeed.
Okay. Can I implore colleagues who are still here to ask questions now so that we really get them out of the way? Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, ministers and colleagues. My name is Aserin Ndlovu from Capital Live Radio. I just want to ask, based on what Minister Lamola just said towards the closing of his speech, the cooperation between the 2 countries. I see Minister Cele knows the question very well because it happened before. The cooperation you're talking about, what is it that is different that you've picked up now between last night and your calls until now that is different between the Malawi cooperation of the Bashir and bringing him to South Africa, and the cooperation between the UAE and South Africa based on the information that you gave us a few days ago, that guarantees, or you are quite sure or confident that this one is going to happen? Question number 2, Minister Cele. How confident are you with the state of our police in the country regarding the way the police in Tanzania managed to arrest someone that we've been looking for, or someone that we even didn't know that this person escaped for the whole year, but they did it like, and based on the information that is out there currently, I might be wrong, I know that they were not arrested because they knew that he is wanted in South Africa. They were arrested because they were illegal immigrants in the country. And someone somewhere picked up that, no, these are the people that are wanted in South Africa. Are you confident that your force are doing a good job so far? I'll stop here. Thank you.
Okay. Minister, just before I call you, you must also recall, colleagues, that when fugitives escape the borders of a particular country, there's what we call a red notice that gets issued. And once a red notice that gets issued, that's why Minister in his statement mentioned Interpol. So it's Interpol that informs the nation that the red notice has been activated and we have found the people that have been put on your red notice. Just thought that that information should not be lost as we think of some of our questions. Minister Cele, can you start for us, please?
I'm very confident. 7 minutes past 10 last night, the message did come. And then we started to work, especially with the Minister of Justice, who was in Bushbuck Ridge, and Minister Cele, who was in Durban, and the National Commissioner of the South African Police, who was somewhere in Limpopo. We started working last night on the matter. And we converged here as early as 8 o'clock from those different places this morning. I'm not going to be giving details on the confidence of the police, but if I didn't have, or if I did have the confidence of the police, I have an extra confidence now. The way it happened. The National Commissioner, come inside. The way it happened, that our forces, as it has been explained, that it was a combination of Interpol, crime intelligence, and everybody directed here, but the people were spotted. It's not very much correct that we were arrested because of entered the country illegal. It was found when they've been arrested that they're in the country illegal. They were found, they were spotted by the people that are working with South Africa, and they were followed as they leave the hotel in this black SUV, and they were heading for the border of the other country. They were leaving the Tanzania. Actually, were leaving Dar es Salaam, and they were followed until they were found in Arusha. It was also discovered there that they have several passports with different names, but as it has been said in the in the statement, it has been confirmed by these authorities. National Commissioner of the South African of the Tanzanian Police, the Interpol has spoken to the Minister of Justice in the area, and our sources and structures here have confirmed that is them. The team that will be dispatched there tomorrow will help us to bring them back, or bring him back. He's arrested, as it said, with the lady that has been confirmed to be a good doctor, and the Mozambican national that has been assisting them. How they moved around, it should not be explained because it's illegal how they have moved. What we know is that at the present moment they're having several passports each, and not a single one that has been stamped as they were crossing. But we are working hard that the way we bring them back should be the safest way. If it needs to be that we send some air machine, some aeroplane to fetch them, we'll be doing that so that we make sure that they don't slip off coming down with them back here. Well, there are other questions that have been raised of names and all. I think Minister Lamola will answer. But best placed people to answer that question will be Home Affairs, who would have gone to to find their names and all that. The names is not only Bester that the name that appears, Thabo, there. There is other name. He at one time is Motsipe, quite sometimes Kwelana or Kwena, but many times that has come out there. When they addressed that auspicious gathering in Sentin, where he was supposed to be in New York, it was Motsipa on that particular day and all that. So the Home Affairs will be really helping us on this. But for now, the man is himself, and for now, the lady is for herself, and then there is this Mozambican person that has been there. Other questions could be answered then by, if there are remaining questions.
Yeah, no, thank you. What is the difference between this process and one you have referred to of the UAE and Malawi? Firstly is that we are, in this one of the fugitives is a convicted person. The gentleman called Thabo Bester. So it's a straight deportation case for him to come back and serve his sentence. The second one is the doctor. As you are aware, there's already a warrant of arrest issued by the South African police related to her, and also the issues related to Interpol. So as the authorities go to Tanzania tomorrow, they are also going to look at the best possible way of quickly bringing her back to South Africa to then face justice. So it is a process that we believe will be doable because of the good mutual cooperation that we have with Tanzania. And we cooperate with them on a number of matters, extradition, mutual legal assistance, and so forth. So we've got very good cooperative relation with Tanzania. And all the options will be explored with regards to the second person. But Tanzania willing, they can also look at that option because she's in Tanzania illegal. So they can also just deport her back to South Africa, where we'll then attend to the processes of going through the justice system. But all those options will be announced upon the discussions between the officials and the authorities of both countries as to how, which route we are going to follow. But we are confident that indeed the good mutual working relations that we have with Tanzania will enable us to ensure that all the fugitives that the South African police is looking for and the ones that Correctional Service is waiting for are brought back to South Africa as speedily as possible. And I must say that that comparison with the UAE and Malawi, even in those two instances, I did mention yesterday that we will still bring the Guptas back in South Africa. It might take some time, but we are not going to stop all the processes that we have said are going to unfold to ensure that they are brought back to South Africa. Same with the Malawian situation. He will also come back to South Africa. Extradition by its nature can be a protracted legal and diplomatic process. So we continue to engage with our counterparts in all those countries, but we will prefer that for this press briefing, let's deal with the Thabo Bester and Nandipa only. We will go to deal with the other ones as and when it's necessary. So that's it for now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, ministers. We do have a series of questions from our colleagues online. So I'll go there, and hopefully they'll steal your questions here, and then you'll not have a question to ask Mawande. We have a question from the South African Broadcasting Corporation from Ms. Sophie Mukwena, and she says, the ministers say they're traveling to other countries and they had passports. Can they indicate which countries? And then we have a question from Khomutso Mudipe from the Daily Sun, who says, is there a possibility that Dr. Nandipa might be offered a chance to turn state witness if she's willing to cooperate with law enforcement agencies? And then let me go to the Justice WhatsApp group. In the Justice WhatsApp group, we have a number of questions from Silindelo Masigani of ENCA, and she says, do we know which border Bester and Nandipa left from, and do we know how long they've been in Tanzania? Then she says, has the body of the person in the cell been identified? She says, what is the charge Dr. Nandipa is facing? Then she says, did the raid at the Hyde Park hideout give any clues as to where they were? And then she says, have we been informed that the police is searching for bodies possibly buried in the property? Then I'll take a couple of questions from Newsroom Africa, from Kalei Naya and Mr. Linda Nisi. The question has been asked before, but I'll read it for the record. What are the specific charges that Bester and Dr. Nandipa and the third accomplice are facing, and when will they appear in court? Then from Lindamnisi, how long have they been in Tanzania? That's a question that's already been asked. Was Dr. Nandipa using her real name in Tanzania? And what charges will the Mozambican national be facing? I think I'll leave those questions for now, ministers, and then we can answer those. If there's a question you'd like me to repeat, please do let me know.
SABC, Sophie, the information we have at the present moment is that they have not one passport per person. They have several. And most of those, or all of them, are not stamped. But in particular, their entrance in Tanzania is not stamped. So we cannot then know which border and when did they come in there if those details are not in the passport. So that will be the question of the... What other countries? We were told that there were 10 Ks when they were found away from Kenya to move from Tanzania to Kenya. So it does look like they were heading for the next country as they were found in that particular area. The investigations are continuing. The fact that it has been confirmed that the body that was found there is not the body for Thabo Bester or for Motsipe, for Kwena, for who happened to be one person at this particular time. So the body, it must be found whose body that was. But other thing that has been established scientifically with forensics is that body did not die in the scene of crime where it was found. It was brought there when it is dead. It does look like a very blunt kind of instrument was used to hit that person in the head. That's why the police at the present moment are investigating the case of murder. Will allow them to continue until they found what really happened, who the person is. We hope that all of us will be cooperating on that one. The charges of Nandipa, the other one I think will be charged for extra things. Maybe that can be best responded to by the Minister of Justice. I'm not going to stand here and talk about charges when there are lawyers that would understand the thing better.
I thought there's no question for me. So this is, firstly, is that you will understand that she helped Mr. Bester to escape. So that is the charge that she will face. They are also looking at several, and the police, when they are ready, they will announce even any other person that could have also played a role. So the police at the right time, they will be able to tell you. Thank you.
Minister, can you just explain the difference between extradition and deportation?
Oh, okay. Yeah, Crispin has requested me to explain the two processes, the extradition process and the deportation. So with extradition is what we are dealing with in the case of the Gupta brothers and the Bushiri matter. You will remember that those have been charged in our courts. They must undergo trial in South Africa. So the difference with the Bester person, he has already been charged, trialed, and convicted, and escaped from prison. So when he has escaped and he goes to another country, it becomes a clear case of deportation back to South Africa to continue to serve his prison sentence. We can then deal with the issue of escape and all those things when he is here. So that is deportation. There is no court process in Tanzania. So with the extradition one, there is a court process. The South African Justice Department in this regard is called the Central Authority. It will then receive requests from the South African police that there are these people that we want them to come to South Africa to be tried. And then they take it to the NPA. The NPA will then take that process with the Central Authority, which we will then send papers to Tanzania to say there are these fugitives that needs to be tried in South Africa for whatever issue, whatever reason and so forth. Then they are coming back to be tried. But this Bester is not coming to be tried. He's been convicted already. He's an escapee. We are looking for someone who's a convict. So that's why it's a clear strait of deportation. But also with the doctor, depending on the officials that are going to go tomorrow to Tanzania, they are going to explore all the avenues and what the Tanzanian authorities will see it as whether, because they are in Tanzania, all of them, the three of them, they are in Tanzania illegally. So if someone is here in South Africa illegally, it's a clear case of deportation also. So the authorities in Tanzania will evaluate, decide that they believe this is just a clear case of deportation. Or we must take them through the route of Interpol and all those things. That might then also attract if, for example, with the doctor, who already there's a warrant of arrest in terms of her to be tried here for the cases that she needs to be tried for. So that can be a case that is in between extradition. So that's why we're saying we'll have to await this team that is going to Tanzania with regards to her so that they can clear it. But the Tanzanian state, it is within their powers to decide and look at the case and say this is a clear deportation. These people must just be deported back to their country in South Africa because they are here illegal. But you will understand there is a Mozambican national there. So that also complicates the whole issue, because that Mozambican national, there will also be another process that needs to deal with him as a Mozambican citizen and whether there are crimes that we want him here in South Africa for and all those things. So all those will have to be the process that the officials are going tomorrow to Tanzania. They will then report to the National Commissioner of Police and then decide that the best route to deal with is this, with this in the case by case is this one. With this one, this is the best route, and the guys in Tanzania, they are saying this is how they are going to deal with them. They've agreed this is the way forward. So that is the kind of summary I can try to put together. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Minister. I'll take questions in here. Let's be brief, colleagues. Ministers have to travel elsewhere today still. Yeah. Just ask your question and then drop. Then the next person asks the question, then we drop. Let's make it quick like that.
Okay, thank you very much. Zona Shaman from Eastern Africa. I think the best person to respond to this one is Minister Lamola. Now, the escape has raised concerns about the loopholes within the correctional services system. Has the government noticed or identified any possible acts which could indicate elements of corrupt activities? That's the first question. And then the second question is, has the government identified any people outside the correctional services who might have been involved in this escape, and also anyone who might have assisted Bester and Dr. Nandipa, and how far are the investigations?
And the minister said they will find in possession of several passports. Can you get the exact number of passports that they were in possession of? And then how many officials have been implicated in this mess so far?
It's Mawande again from the Sunday Web. Get Sandwich, but with your answer on the real name of Thabo Bester. And the reason I say so, perhaps now let me bounce the question further to Minister Oz. What was the name that he was registered with at the Mangaung Correctional Center? Surely you must have had his ID or even a passport when he was the real president before this dramatic escape. That's number one. Two, on the issue of the now Mr. Bester, if it's him, what confirmation steps would be taken that are conclusive enough scientifically, such as the DNA test? Have they been taken, in fact, up to the stage? Because I hear Minister continue saying confirmed, but I doubt just an appearance in terms of the face alone is enough, because, I mean, from where I sit, the man just continues to look a bit different from time to time. And then secondly, or maybe thirdly, General Masemola, we understand that there's a top brass of SABC officials that are in Durban. What were they there for? Was there any intelligence that Dr. Bakutumana might be somewhere in the vicinity of KZN or in Durban in particular? Because there is a thing that she was spotted somewhere in Durban last week in the north of Durban. Is that true to begin with, that she was spotted there? And if she was spotted there at the time, why were the police unable to round her up and arrest her? And then finally, Dosi, at a higher level of the police, what do you say to those that say it now appears that there might be a cover-up at the highest level of the police? When I say highest level, I don't mean you. It could be generals or heads of particular divisions. Because, I mean, recently, during the national shutdown, we saw the kind of resources that our state security cluster has, which could have been deployed in this particular case as well, which has dragged on for 2 weeks now, at least after the revelation that Mr. Bester had escaped. For him to be able to go outside South Africa, jump at least 2 further countries to get to Tanzania, with the kind of resources that we saw during the national shutdown that our security cluster possesses, do you believe that those who say there might have been a cover-up and implication at the highest level of people within the security cluster, particularly the police, is true? Thank you very much.
Okay. Let me also just take a couple of questions online, Minister, so that we save some time. Okay, you can go.
Asarindov again from Capital Life. Minister Lamola, I just want to ask this question that angers most South Africans, and I'm one of them, by the way, about the contract the G4S is having with the department, DCS. Are we still keeping that contract after the G4S confirmed several times that definitely Thabo Bester is the one that died? And on top of that, they didn't attend the parliamentary engagement that they were invited for. I'm saying we are angry because it clearly shows that it's something that they don't just take serious, because they're saying contractual obligations, this and that. As a minister, where you're sitting now, what is it that is in your mind, taking South Africans into confidence that G4S has to account to this mess that we have currently? Then question number 2, I'm done with this one.
Make it also crisp.
I'm done crispy, just this one. No, I'm saying this is the last question.
Yeah, but I'm saying also cut the preamble.
Sure. I hear that tomorrow there's a team that is going to Tanzania. Approximately, because this case is different, like to those ones that you mentioned. Approximately, when do we expect this team to be back in South Africa? And the third person, do we have the identity? Who is this person? If maybe you can tell us. Thank you.
Okay, Ministers, let me read the questions that we have on the online platforms. Also to be brief, from the South African Broadcasting Corporation, Ms. Sophie Mukwena asks, is there any possibility that they were helped by the insurgents that are operating in Mozambique with these passports and they were not stamped? The next question is from Vikas Berger. How were they traveling? Was it by car or by foot? The next question is from Adrian Basson, News 24. Please clarify, how were they arrested? Who followed them from Dar es Salaam to Arusha? As mentioned by the Minister of Police, was it SABC, Crime Intelligence, Interpol, or Tanzanian or other intelligence? And then a question from Khomutso Mudipe, Daily Sun, says, is there a possibility that Dr. Manipa may face, oh, she's already asked this question, we've already answered it. Apologies for that. Let me just go into another group. From Robert Kapu from the weekly South African Mirror, says, did the Mozambican national leave with the 2 fugitives from South Africa, or they met in Tanzania? Do you have any information on that? And then Slindelo Msigani is coming with a follow-up question. She's asking, we understand that Nandipa's father is also with the police. Has he been arrested or taken into questioning? And then there's a follow-up question as well in relation to that, which says, was a case opened against Nandipa's father, who attempted to fetch a body from Seopa funerals in Soweto? And then a question that says, from Newsroom Africa as well, when exactly did the trio leave South Africa? I think, colleagues, these are the questions that we will end off with due to time constraints as well on our part. But we do believe that the answers that the ministers will give will be able to address most of the concerns that colleagues have raised in questions. I'd like to invite the National Commissioner to address us. Now we all see which team he supports. So.
Yeah. Thanks very much. Thanks to Ministers, Minister of Police, Minister of Justice. Just to, I think the question was the team that is in KwaZulu-Natal. You might have heard about the team in KwaZulu-Natal, but we have got a bigger team that consists of sub-teams, and that's just one part of the team that was in KwaZulu-Natal. We make sure we follow up on each and every list out there in the investigation. So there are other teams that were in places which you probably have not yet asked, but there were other teams that have been doing work at other various places. So we have got an investigation team that is situated here in Gauteng and a sub-team in Free State. And we are doing the work at all places, and but some of the questions like the Mozambican national, where did he join them? We can't at this stage clarify as to where. Everything is we're still going to investigate and will determine as to what happened to that Mozambican and where did he join them in the process. I think those are. Is there any other?
I think you've answered. How did they travel to Tanzania? By foot or by car?
Well, that we don't know. They were arrested, passports not stamped, so whether they were traveling through car and jump, not on the official borders, that we have not yet clarified. We are still clarifying that, and the team that we are sending there will be able to verify all those facts. We cannot say also when and how long will the team be there, but we'll update the nation as the team is there.
Yeah, with regards to how they escaped and how he escaped in our facility and whether there are officials implicated. Yes, there are officials implicated from G4S in terms of the investigative report that we have. Whether the investigation from correctional services has been completed or not, yes, it has been completed and submitted to me on the 24th of March. We will give a blow-by-blow to the portfolio committee as to when the investigation started and the types of officials implicated, and also those that have been placed on notice within correctional services who might have been derelict of duty in terms of the monitoring of the contract. So we will definitely give a blow-by-blow to the portfolio committee on Wednesday of that investigation. What was his real name within our system? His name within our system was Thabo Bester. That is what we have. But as you are aware, it has since emerged that there are different names and connotations which Home Affairs is dealing with, and they are better placed to help. And they are helping the authorities as to his real names and identity. And I can confirm that indeed he also, correctional services did also have his DNA. So there is a number of leads that will help the investigators to look into, to really deal with the issue of the real name. But the one we had in correctional facility, it was Mr. Thabo Bester. With regards to the contract, as you will remember, the National Commissioner for Correctional Services did say that we have referred the issues of the breach to the contract to our lawyers for a legal advice. What should be done and what should happen. And we understand your anger. We are also angry because we also believe this is the highest level of dereliction of duty by G4S in that facility. But we will leave the process to the lawyers to guide us and to advise us. Then we will be able to take a decision as to what is the best way forward in this scenario. But we want to mention that this is a 25-year contract that is expiring in 2026. So we're looking at all the pros and cons from when we had it, whether the facilities that we have, and whether it is worth it to take it over altogether now, between now and 2026, the cost and all those things which we are looking into. And when we have got all those, including the legal advice, we will be able to tell the nation what is our way forward in this regard. But as you are aware, the National Commissioner has appointed temporary managers that they've taken over in the facilities in terms of Section 112 of the Correctional Services Act. So that's where we are at this stage with regards to the G4S contract. Thank you very much.
confirmation you talk about is a confirmation we got from authorities. We can't go beyond that at the present moment. When the National Commissioner of the Tanzanian Police says yes, this guy has several names, but what we've confirmed is that he has escaped from the South African prisons. Scientifically, as he comes back, we'll continue with the fingerprints, DNA, and all that. That's that. But not only him confirming, the Interpol has confirmed that the person we found is a person that escaped, is a person that we have been trying to find. The names, indeed, Bester, but we were given the list of several names by the Home Affairs of that person. So this could be the one that he finally worked with, but there are other names that will be there. Maybe seeing him again, it will help to confirm the further things in terms of the names. We've seen National Commission did not answer the issue maybe of father, but we have seen people, this Dr. Nandip, we have seen people calling themselves mother of Bester, but it has been already disputed that that is a proper mother. So we bank on investigations that at the end of the day, the investigation will have to give all this information when we put before the nation and say, this is it, this is final. Again, the follow-up from Sophie, where we don't know if he was assisted by the terrorist and all that, but it does look like he has a lot of influence, maybe it's money or influence or whatever. How was he arrested? Was he walking? Was on foot? No, he was on a black SUV. 3 of them as they were stopped. As I think the News 24 person asked how by the police was arrested by police of Tanzania, that they put him in custody. But it would have been worked with other structures. That will be the Interpol, surely Interpol South Africa and other structures that would have helped. My parting shot is a holiday. As I said, we all came together. Maybe that's why an operation skipped you this morning by the South African police, where there was guys that were pursued, were getting ready for a cash heist, and they were supposed to book in a hotel somewhere here in mainland, and they did not want to book. They said that hotel is too cheap for them, and they were followed. In Leighton, in Centurion, they were followed by our guys, the police again, and there was an exchange of fire. 2 of them are still sleeping there, dead, and they are pursuing 2 more. Those that are dead are in the beautiful BMW. They are found with 3 AK-47s, and there are others that are pursued in a Jeep Cherokee that have run away. So police these days are doing their work. Well, it's a holiday that skipped you could not see, but that's what the police did this morning, and that crime scene is still hot. Well, from it, you could see that there was an exchange of fire, and police came topsack, and kudos to the police.
Thank you, Minister, National Commissioner. Colleagues, the Minister of Justice has left us. He has an urgent other engagement to attend to. But if there are any questions that pertain to the information that Minister Cele has just given now around the cash in transit bust, we can take those questions, Minister, with your permission. Sorry, I didn't ask you. Yes.
No, the cover-up question and was you didn't answer it.
Okay.
The allegations of police cover-up.
Okay.
Allegation of cover-up are allegations until they are proven. They have not been proven. Either those that make allegations that police are involved in this one. So that will be part of investigation. Those that have information, they must come with that information. But police on this one I don't think that they did any form of cover-up. There is a story here that the question of DNA was done by the police. The story again goes to say the honorable doctor, the good doctor, claimed 3 dead bodies: father, brother, and customary husband. This happened to be customary husband. And the question to her was, so many bodies you are claiming, let's see this one before you go and bury it or burn it and all that. So it was discovered there, this information of... so I don't think then they would have done cover-up when they've gone that far to find that information even before was buried as a customary husband. I think the police on this one, if they have, we will find that. It's quite a broad investigation. As we have asked, there will be people from different level of lives, even people that are out there, because we believe that doctor herself could not have done it alone, this thing of keeping him safe and all that running. But if police are part of cover-up, we'll find them. But I believe that big portion of police there, they just try to do their work, flying below the radar. One thing that I can accept here is that maybe it took too long, but there's been the work that has been done by different levels of law enforcement going forward on this one. Thanks.
Okay, I think, colleagues, that definitely then concludes our press briefing. Thank you very much for coming at such notice, and we then wish you...
We all came in short notice.
Yes, umsebenzi, Minister. But we do wish you a happy Easter further, with less interruptions, we hope. Thank you very much.
Lembe ngiphuza kakhulu amanzi lapha ekhaya. Mangilandi izolo ebusuku. Actually, then I'll do it, but in the so later, I'll tell you for you.
So another thing, that when you are being processed, would